Hi everyone, thank you so much for tuning in to watch this video about the North Carolina Occupational Therapy Association and its role in advocacy. So to start off, here is just some basic information about the North Carolina OT Association. NCOTA has been supporting occupational therapy practitioners in North Carolina for nearly 70 years. It is a volunteer run organization with over 30 leadership positions for interested OT practitioners. NCOTA hosts an annual fall conference that takes place over a weekend and a smaller spring conference which takes place on a Saturday. And both of these conferences provide opportunities for continuing education credits for those who attend, either in person or virtually. The mission of NCOTA is to promote the continued and competent practice of occupational therapy, impact healthcare, legislative, and reimbursement communities as advocates for those who receive occupational therapy services and the practitioners which provide them. And lastly, NCOTA also aims to respond to the needs of its membership by promoting education, communication, and also by monitoring trends in healthcare and communities which may affect occupational therapy practice. So if you're already a member of NCOTA, then I'm sure that you're aware of the benefits that come with your membership. However, if you're not, let me give you some insight into what you're missing out on. Joining NCOTA as a member gives you access to networking opportunities, as well as professional development resources and discounts for those professional development resources, such as conferences. Students also benefit from membership as there are scholarships and opportunities for fieldwork and completing your doctoral capstone with NCOTA. In addition to these benefits, members of the North Carolina Occupational Therapy Association also receive support in their advocacy efforts and access to the NCOTA lobbyist, Ashley Perkinson. A little bit more about our advocacy efforts. The North Carolina OT Association website has a page specifically for advocacy, and that web address is here on the slide. This page includes information about how to engage in advocacy for occupational therapy in North Carolina and further information about the items listed here. Each year, NCOTA sponsors a legislative advocacy day in Raleigh at the North Carolina General Assembly. This day provides occupational therapy practitioners with the opportunity to meet with their elected officials and explain to them how they can support occupational therapy in North Carolina. Advocacy is a year-long process, but this is an important day to make an impact and develop deeper relationships with policymakers in North Carolina. One person who plays an incredibly important role in NCOTA's advocacy efforts and Advocacy Day is lobbyist Ashley Perkinson. Ashley has worked as a lobbyist in North Carolina since 2005 and has partnered with the North Carolina Occupational Therapy Association for many years. She has played an important role in the passage of legislation which supports North Carolina's occupational therapy practitioners. In addition to the part that Ashley plays, NCOTA also benefits from the work of the Legal and Political Affairs Committee and its co-chairs. This committee is instrumental in planning Advocacy Day and additional advocacy opportunities for North Carolina occupational therapy practitioners. The co-chairs and the committee also work to write public comments and legislation when necessary. The Legal and Political Affairs Committee aims to have occupational therapy practitioners from all practice settings represented so that NCOTA can stay up to date on issues across the profession. If you have questions regarding advocacy, you can reach out to the Legal and Political Affairs Committee at NCOTAadvocacy@gmail.com, and the co-chairs will respond to you to assist you in your advocacy endeavors. As I mentioned on the previous slide, NCOTA's lobbyist, Ashley Perkinson, is just one of the ways that the North Carolina Occupational Therapy Association supports you and the profession as a whole. Ashley meets frequently with legislators at the Legislative Complex in Raleigh. Ashley, the Legal and Political Affairs co-chairs, and other members of NCOTA leadership have worked together to write public comments in key advocacy areas and have even played an important role in writing legislation to support occupational therapy. This includes the Interstate Compact, which was passed in 2021, making North Carolina the 5th state to enact the compact and take steps towards allowing occupational therapy practitioners from North Carolina to practice in other states under one license. During the beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic, NCOTA wrote public comments to have sanitation stations placed in public spaces for the health and wellness of individuals experiencing homelessness. Also, during the pandemic, and as a result of the pandemic, the North Carolina OT Association has advocated for increased and continued access to telehealth services for occupational therapy practitioners. In addition to writing public comments, NCOTA has met with agencies and organizations to promote occupational therapy and educate influential parties on the importance of our profession. NCOTA has sponsored several conferences, including the Mental Health Legislative Breakfast, where practitioners are able to speak with legislators about OT's role in mental health. Lastly, in 2023, NCOTA has been focusing heavily on increasing the salary and opportunities for bonuses for occupational therapists in the school system. This was one of the main legislative priorities discussed at the 2023 Advocacy Day. If you are wondering how you can get involved, here are some ways that practitioners can get involved with NCOTA's advocacy efforts. You can serve as one of the Legal and Political Affairs co-chairs, or you can volunteer on the committee. You can reach out with any advocacy questions that you may have to NCOTAadvocacy@gmail.com, and one of the co-chairs will be in touch with you. You can participate in AOTA's Virtual Hill Day or NCOTA's Advocacy Day in Raleigh. You can also review legislation, write public comments, and communicate with your legislators to let them know the importance of occupational therapy and the things that our profession needs in North Carolina. And lastly, you can review the NCOTA and AOTA website to stay up to date on information impacting the profession. And here are some examples of how students can get involved as well, and this is fairly similar to how practitioners can get involved. You can volunteer on the Legal and Political Affairs Committee, reach out with advocacy questions, participate in AOTA's Hill Day or NCOTA's Advocacy Day, review the NCOTA and AOTA websites, and you can also consider completing your doctoral capstone experience with the Legal and Political Affairs Committee. And if this is something that you're interested in, you should definitely reach out to both NCOTA Advocacy at Gmail and your program's capstone coordinator. Thank you so much for watching this video and learning a little bit more about the North Carolina Occupational Therapy Association and its advocacy efforts. If you are interested in more information, please feel free to check out our website, ncota.org, or email the Legal and Political Affairs Committee at ncotaadvocacy@gmail.com. Thank you so much. We look forward to advocating with you.